Hey everybody, welcome to episode 9 of Turtle Talk Tuesday. And in this video, I am going to show you my Haulathon Super Ninja Turtle haul. So I just got back from toy hunting, and the first Target I went to had everything I wanted and more. Then, just for the heck of it, because I was planning on it, I went to another Target that had absolutely nothing. And then I went to another Target that had some stuff, but not as much as the first Target. So I got really lucky, I think, because I was there as soon as that Target opened this morning. I managed to get everything I wanted, and I am very, very excited. Also, it's kind of funny because I was literally waiting for the Target to open, waiting outside. There were 3 other guys out there, and I was a little nervous. I thought maybe they were also action figure collectors or maybe Ninja Turtle fans. And I'm sure you fellow toy hunters know that feeling. I was like, oh boy, hope I can get what I want here without any problems, because you know, sometimes people buy more than they really need to. I'm sure you all, know how that goes. And yeah, so we were kind of all walking the same direction once the doors opened. And I kind of went one way to go check out the NECA section. They went another way, and they were heading right for the Hot Wheels section. So they were Hot Wheels guys. They were not action figure guys. So it all worked out great. I think they got some Hot Wheels that they wanted, and I got some amazing NECA Ninja Turtle figures that I wanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here, and I'm basically going to go in order from the least that I want to the most that I wanted it. So I guess like my least favorite to most favorite. Just because I like to kind of go in some sort of order. And then probably what I'll do in the second part of this video is I will do the review of the cartoon figures. And then probably in next week's Turtle Talk Tuesday episode, I'll do a review of the comic book related figures, just to kind of spread it out a little bit. I don't want the video to be too long, and I have got a lot of stuff here, let me tell you. So we're going to start off here with the black and white Usagi Yojimbo figure. Now I know I'm starting with my least favorite. I don't want anybody to think that I don't like this figure, because I think this figure looks amazing. It was just not at the top of my list. Honestly, I was not going to get this figure because I have the regular Usagi Yojimbo, and I think it's a fantastic figure. And he's on my shelf with the other cartoon Ninja Turtles from NECA. And I just did not feel like I really, really needed this black and white version. But seeing it in person and just seeing how amazing it looks, because wow, this is a beautiful figure. It's a beautiful box. And I've said this before in other videos, it was the only one they had. And I thought to myself, you know what? I better just get it. And if I change my mind, I can always return it, or I can find somebody who wants to buy it from me. And I'm glad I did, because I have not seen this figure anywhere else at any other Targets in all my toy hunting. I think over the last couple of days, I've been to 6 different Targets, and I have not seen this guy except for the one time that I saw him today at the first Target that I went to. So it just looks really, really amazing. Just in the black and white, and just the style of the box, the artwork on the box. I mean, look at that. Like, this is... it's a work of art. I mean, that's what it is. It is absolutely just an amazing, amazing work of art. I mean, this thing is incredible. So there's all the, packaging information and the barcode and all that. But I am absolutely leaving this one in the box. It's not something I do too often, but wow. It looks so good. It really is like a piece of art. And I just don't feel like I need to open it because I have the original one that's in color for my cartoon shelf. And this one, it just looks so beautiful the way it's displayed. This is like a showpiece. So I'm just going to keep him in the box, and I think he looks fantastic. And I'm really glad that I saw him in person, and I'm glad that I got a chance to pick him up because he just looks great. But like I said, I'm leaving this one in the box, so there won't be an unboxing or a review. He is just going to stay on the shelf as he is. So the next one that I picked up that I was not going to pick up, I really did not plan on getting this one, but it's another one of those, you see it in person and you're kind of like, well, sure, why not? And it is this big boy here, Triceraton Zog, which is from the Mirage comic books. He is so big and chunky, and just wow, just another one that I saw in person. Now, the first Target I went to, this was the only one they had, and I didn't notice right away, but if you look there, the plastic tab that's supposed to be around his head has come off, and there is a piece of plastic. I don't know if you can probably hear it rattling around. There's a piece of plastic that's supposed to be on the front of his face that has fallen off. I don't really see any problems with the figure at all. And like I said, this is the only one they had. And then the last Target I went to today actually had 2 more of them. So I think the Triceraton Zog figure is going to be a pretty easy one to find. Part of it is probably because of his size and also his price, because I'm pretty sure this guy was $50, but he's a big guy. And, Triceratons are just so cool. They are just such a fun kind of idea, like alien, humanoid dinosaurs. I mean, you can't get better than that. So, I'm going to find a spot for him somewhere. I'm probably going to put him with maybe like the, Mutanimals, maybe the Archie comics. I don't really have a lot of the, Mirage comics, and the ones that I do, I kind of just usually put them on either the miscellaneous shelf or on the cartoon shelf. But I mean, I just couldn't pass him up. He just looks so cool. I mean, it's an orange Triceratops, creature guy. So, you can't beat that. He just looks so cool. So there is the side artwork, which looks amazing. And then the back, some glamour shots of the figure there. Same kind of deal there on the side. And he is heavy. Like, this is a heavy package. Here's the information on the bottom if anybody needs the barcode. There's the folks involved. And wow, what a heavy, chunky figure this guy is. So probably, like I said, I'll include him in the review of the comic book related figures, which will be in next week's episode of Turtle Talk Tuesday. So I will get him out of here, and of course I will get the hair dryer out. All these guys are going to get the hair dryer treatment just to make sure we're not going to have any breakage. So that is Triceraton. All right, now the next set, again, I'm going in order from least favorite to most favorite. So we have Tall Thug and Short Gangster. Now, I, of course, cannot remember their actual names. I know that their names were, I guess we could say, they could be taken kind of an offensive way. Again, I can't remember their names, but I know that their names were not the nicest names, which is probably why it says Tall Thug and Short Gangster. But Honestly, I am not like dying to get these guys. I said in last week's video when I did the unboxing of Jersey Red and Grunt, I was kind of excited about the Jersey Red figure because it's just such a unique character and a unique sculpt and just a weird, crazy looking figure. So I was pretty excited about that one. And then I was also kind of having some fun with figuring out what to do with the mutated version of Grunt. And I did actually end up getting legs for that figure. So now I can have both versions. But, I was like, look, here they are. It completes the, Rocksteady and Maybach human gang. So I just got to get these. I mean, I'm not thrilled about it. I'm not thrilled about having to pay as much as they were, but it completes a team. What can you do, So yeah, I'll definitely be taking these guys out and putting them with the rest of the gang. These dog pieces, I'm going to try to do the same thing I did with the Grunt pieces and try to customize a figure so I can have kind of the dog version here. It almost makes me think of like kind of like a Wookiee or something. So maybe something like that. I don't know, but we'll see. So there's the one side, there's the other side, and on the back, you can see what they look like in their mutated forms. So like I said, the dog one is kind of fun, and I can maybe figure out like a custom figure to do with that one. This one, like this face, does not do anything for me. It is so weird looking. It looks like I don't even know what that is supposed to be, honestly. Like, is it a seashell? Is it an elephant trunk? I don't know, but that looks weird, and I really don't need that face on that guy. And here are the other figures. I did see a couple Rex ones, but I'm going to hold off on those and see if maybe I can get that like on sale or on clearance or for a cheaper price. I like Rex 1 and everything. He's just not one of the ones that I'm like dying to have. There's the barcode. There's the information. And yeah, I mean, these guys look fine. I mean, like I said, they'll look great with the rest of the gang. We'll get the rest of the gang out and pose them all together in the review video. And then I'll see what I can figure out with those dog pieces. It should be quite interesting. All right, so the next 2-pack is Chocohachi and Lotus. So this one is, a pretty big deep dive. It's but it's a cool one. I really liked the Lotus character. I thought that she was really, really cool. Of course, we all know that she's basically the cartoon version of Karai. But just the way that she put just everybody in their place in that episode, it was really good. I mean, she was a very impressive character. So I'm happy to have her. And then for, Chocohachi, he's definitely kind of like a weird one-off kind of character, but just the colors, like the paint detail and the colors on him, like, I mean, you could almost kind of use him with other figures if you didn't want to use him with Ninja Turtles. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't use him with Ninja Turtles, but he just kind of looks like somebody who can go up against, different like ninja figures or like samurai figures. He just looks really, really cool. I love the blue and the brown and the red colors. He just looks neat. Plus you get all the effects and stuff. So there's the artwork on the side, looking pretty cool. And yeah, I think the Lotus figure, I mean, obviously she's not nearly as colorful, but she looks pretty cool. So there is Lotus and Chocohachi there on the back. Again, it's always the same description. It's like the background of the turtles. It's not anything to do with these characters. There you go. There's, some other figures. Oh, and they did also have the Dirk Savage and Mona Lisa. I passed on those as well. Dirk Savage is really a figure I just don't feel like I need. I kind of wish the Mona Lisa was kind of packed by herself or packed in with like maybe Rex 1 or something like that. So that's another one I'm going to just wait and see. Maybe get it on clearance or on sale, or maybe just buy Mona Lisa by herself. there's the barcode. There's all the information. So yeah, so there is Chocohachi and Lotus. All right, now we're getting to the ones I am super, super excited about, the ones that I have wanted absolutely since they were shown, starting off with Mighty Hog and Rhino Man. So, of course, Rocksteady and Bebop in their superhero personas. I love these guys. The idea of them being, superheroes, I love superheroes, of course. So yeah, very excited about this 2-pack. Can't wait to get these guys out and see what they're all about. There's Mighty Hog, there's Rhino Man. They look so wild. Like I'm very excited about these. I hope that they hold up. There's the other figures that are shown on the back. But yeah, so this is definitely the 2-pack I wanted the most out of this Haulathon set. I think they had like 3 or 4 of these 2-packs at the first Target, and then the last Target I went to today, they had a couple 2-packs. So I don't think that this one's going to be a hard one to find at all. Pretty much all the 2-packs, they had multiples at the first and last Target, because the other ones I went to had nothing. But I will say I did inspect them pretty closely, because I did see a couple, especially on the Rocksteady shirt, with a lot of like bad paint marks and stuff on them, like some black or gray paint marks. So my suggestion would be, if you can, if you find these in the store, try to take a really, really good look at them and make sure that, they don't have any major QC issues, because I didn't really notice any QC issues on anybody else, but definitely on these two, there were a couple 2-packs that did not, the paint was not so good, but these two look like the best. So these are the ones I got, of course. All right, and now on to my favorite ones, the ones that I have been looking forward to ever since they were first shown, starting with Jaguar. So I'm sure I've said this before in another Turtle Talk video. I just adored the Archie comics, the Ninja Turtle Archie comics back in the day. It was just such a great memory for me, because me and my dad would go get our haircut at this place, and across the street from it was like this newsstand that would always have these random Ninja Turtle Archie comics. And like, I would get my haircut first, and then while my dad was getting his haircut, I would go over there and look through these comics, and sometimes I would get a couple of them. Of course, I don't have any of them anymore. This was, what, I guess 30 years ago almost. So when I saw these advertised, whenever that was, man, oh man, I was excited. I just could not wait to get my hands on these figures. They're so bright and colorful and just super fun. Honestly, I hardly remember anything about these comic book stories, because it's been so long, and it was just such a random thing for me. It's not like I collected them and read them all the time. It was just kind of a weird, random, like once every couple months kind of thing. I would check them out. So, but I know these characters for sure. And this figure just looks so cool, just so much fun. And they did like the box in like the style of the comic book. There's the artwork on the side. It just looks so good. So now we're just waiting for Dreadmon to come out. But wow, I am so excited for this guy. And then, not to be outdone, my favorite of Haulathon 2023, Man Ray. So they actually had a couple of these. Jaguar, I only saw one, so I don't know if maybe Jaguar is going to be a little bit harder to find than Man Ray, but they did have a couple Man Rays, and a couple of them did have a little bit of like paint issues, like on the chest area, because you have the yellow with like the dark, and sometimes it's just hard to get yellow with the dark colors just right. But this one looked great, so this is the one I got. But just again, be aware, just like I said with the Rocksteady and Bebop, make sure you check them out, check them for any like paint imperfections or anything like that if you have a choice. I mean, you know, if it's the only one they have and you really, really want it, then you're just going to have to get it, really, unless it's like in really, really bad shape. But yeah, he is just incredible looking. You know, with the exception of Leatherhead, he's probably my favorite mighty Mutanimal. And just wow. And I think I forgot to show the bottom. I forgot to show the barcode because I was so excited. So there's the barcode for Jaguar and the other information, and the barcode for Man Ray. There you go. So yeah, these two are absolutely beautiful figures. They're so bright and colorful. I can't wait to get these two out and just have a good old time. So like I said, in the coming up here in the next part of this video, it'll be all the cartoon figures. We'll review those. And then next week's video will be a review of these two guys and the Triceraton. So definitely check out next week's video. Let me know what you think of all these guys. Let me know what you're finding out there in the world of Target Haulathon. Yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, and have a good one. All right, so I have gotten all of the figures that I purchased in the Haulathon event out of their packaging, and I've gotten them all kind of put together and put into the poses that I think that I'm gonna have them in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just a quick rundown of the cartoon figures that I have unboxed. And then in next week's video, I will do the review for the comic book figures from this round of Haulathon. So what we have here is Mighty Hog and Rhino Man, which is of course Bebop and Rocksteady in their superhero personas. And these are really nice figures. They're very colorful. They have the, you know, cloth capes, which is great. And just really nice figures. So before we look at the figures themselves, just look at some of these accessories that they came with. Here are the open hands that come with Rocksteady. Whoops. And then here are the fists that come on him. So as you can see, I have put his flying hand and his peace sign hand because I just like how he looks with those two hands on him. The goggles, by the way, are a separate piece, and I did have to heat those up a little bit. I was a little bit afraid they were going to snap to get them around his ears there. But yeah, once you get them on, they go on great, and they're nice and, you know, sturdy. They don't fall off or anything. Another accessory that I wasn't sure what they were at first, it took me a minute to figure out, but they come with these jet packs, which, you know, they actually clip in. So that's what the back of the figure looks like. And then you have to, you know, like put these in there. And this is how in that episode of the cartoon, that's how they flew around, making it look like that they were superheroes flying. They had the jetpacks on the back of them. But yeah, I mean, these are very similar to the just other Rocksteady and Bebop figures that we've gotten. I like that they have the mouth articulation, although if you open the mouths a little too wide, they look a little kind of crazy and silly. And then this is like a soft, like the belly is like a soft kind of overlay. But the usual articulation, I mean, I definitely had to heat all of these figures up really, really well, you know, to be able to move them around, to be able to swap the hands. I would highly, highly suggest heating these up with a hair dryer. I did that for all of these NECA figures. They also come with this. I have no idea what this is. This is another accessory that they come with. some kind of blaster device thing. I mean, it's really, really well done. I would say be careful with these because they seem like they could definitely break, these little wires that are on there. But this is cool. I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. As usual with some of these accessories, you just don't really know what to do with them. Here's a little phone. So they come with this little phone. And then they come with a metal chain that you can put around, I think it's supposed to go around Bebop's wrist here. So you can kind of wrap that around like so. So speaking of Bebop, I kept one of the fists on him, and then I also gave him his peace sign hand. He also has the mouth that you can open. And same articulation, of course, and just, you know, the paint detail is absolutely fantastic on these. You can see they have like that cartoon cell shading kind of deal on them, like we're used to getting with these figures. And I mean, don't these guys just look amazing together? I love just having them posed, both doing the peace sign. I think that looks amazing. As far as alternate hands for Bebop, we have got 2 weapon holding hands or gripping hands. Here's his other fist that I took off of him. And then here is his flying pose hand. So I wanted to have a little bit of a difference. So I like, you know, having one of them with the flying hand and then one of them with the fist. And I don't know, just for some reason, I just always think of Bebop as just, I don't know, I guess more of one to be punching. I guess with, you know, Bebop is more the one who's going to punch, and then Rocksteady is probably the one who's going to like headbutt. That's at least what I think of. It makes sense to me. But yeah, I mean, these guys look great. I mean, I love, I've always loved just like this variant, you know, the superheroes of Bebop and Rocksteady that we got in the vintage line. I loved those toys. I ordered the re-release ones from Walmart. So yeah, I just really, really enjoy these superhero suited Bebop and Rocksteady. They are just fun, colorful figures. All right. So the other cartoon 2-pack that we're going to look at here is Lotus and Chocohachi. So this is how I have them posed. It took me quite a while, as you can imagine, with the 2 of them deciding how to pose them. So let's see here. I do really, really love this device. So this comes with these 2. Lotus used the episode to literally sniff out the turtle layer. And this thing is wild. I mean, it just obviously is supposed to be like a vacuum cleaner, but with a nose on the end. Really, really great accessory. Super, super hilarious. We also get an alternate head for Lotus there. So all masked up, looking very, very ninja-like. I do prefer her with her regular head that you can certainly tell who she is. Her alternate hands, her hands are super, super tiny, and I would highly recommend heating them up because, I mean, so here's an open hand. That peg is tiny, tiny, very, very thin and fragile. Here is a fist. If it'll focus, there it goes. There's the fist. And then she's got like open display hands. I guess these will be like, you know, karate chop hands. But these hands are very, very tiny, and they feel like they could very easily break. So just be wary of that. Here is an arrow, because she has a bow and arrow. So there's a loose arrow that comes with her. And as you can see on her person, I have her sword in its sheath, and then I put the bow and arrow, well, the bow, I put the bow around her. I just think that this is a cool look. And then this sword is actually the sword that came with I I believe it was Grunt and Jersey Red that came with a sword, and I thought that was kind of weird. It may have been one of the other 2-packs, now that I think about it, I can't remember. But I just thought it was weird for the gang members to come with a ninja sword, so I gave it to Lotus. And of course, she's also holding her flower in her other hand. And I like how this looks. So she has like all of her weapons on her. It did take some doing because of her hair. Getting that sword on there was a little bit of a challenge, but it's not too bad. Like I said, just heat them up. And then, the articulation on the smaller female figures is just a little scary with the knees and the elbows. I would say heat them up and go slow because, like these knees on the thin female figures, they feel really, really fragile. But the articulation's still good. Again, I just kind of like getting them in a really, really nice pose. And then just kind of getting them, on their spot on the shelf. And of course, as you can see, I'm having issues with having the bow. I mean, the bow has this really nice kind of string on it, but, I'm trying to pose it to where, it kind of like hangs off of her in kind of like what would look like a normal kind of way. I'm kind of using that little piece of hair to kind of hold it, but really, really nice figure. And an interesting character, of course, from the cartoon. Now, this guy is just wild, crazy, ridiculous looking. But wow, the colors, like the different shades of blue, are really, really amazing. And I mean, he has really, really good articulation and movement. I would say he is probably the figure that feels the best in terms of all the articulation and the movement. Like he's the one out of all of these figures that I'm showing you that just feels like he's just not going to break in any sort of way. The only thing that worries me is this like shoulder pad piece. It just feels very, very loose and fragile. Like that little hinge right there just seems like it could break at any moment. But everything else, the wrists, the elbows are great. I really like his like magical blast effect thing, or his like ghost effect, whatever you want to call it. And then his swords. So the swords go through these little like yellow plastic things on his belt. I heated those up really, really good. And then, his smaller sword, just, I have that in the sheath, and then his longer sword, of course, I have him posed holding it. But yeah, the articulation on this one in particular is really, really good. And I really love this figure, even though it's a one-off, villain, just like one episode, kind of a weird episode. But wow, just talk about like a toyetic design, all the different colors and the different weapons. He just looks really cool. And he could almost fit in with other figures too. He could be really just any kind of like ghost samurai in, lots of different lines. So here's these other effects that he comes with. I still can't quite figure out what to do with this one. I'm sure it pegs onto something, but I just really can't figure it out, to be honest. And then this effect here, like another kind of blasting effect. I guess he can probably, I guess this bigger one would be kind of hard for him to hold, but he has 2 fists. If I can get a hold of him here, here we go, 2 fists. And here's the other gripping hand. Of course, he has the right gripping hand for his sword, and then here's like the open hand. So he has 2 open hands. I have the other open hand on him. I think that's it. I think that's all that came with these guys. And yeah, just some neat figures. They're cool for very, very different reasons. I mean, he has a lot of color to him. a lot of just neat accessories. He's just really, really cool looking toy. Whereas Lotus, much more plain, she barely has what, I guess, like 2 or 3 different colors on her, but just the character, the character is really interesting. I feel like she is a much more kind of needed character for the villain shelf. She kind of, she's like on the fence with, like, yes, she's a villain, but she also kind of has that thing with Leonardo. So it's like really an interesting character dynamic. So yeah, 2 cool figures just for very different reasons. So I kind of like that. Then we get to the gang members. So I already did the review of Jersey Red and Grunt because I found them first. I found them, a few days before I found kind of my big haul from Haulathon. So we also have little short guy and tall guy, because I don't remember their names. What were their names, like Dumpy and Derpy, or Dumbo and Derpy, or what was it? It's, I think is this one Dumbo and this one Dumpy, or maybe I got it mixed up. I don't know, but they are the gang members that we need to complete the gang. So I got them. It's like one of those things where it's like, I didn't really need these that bad. It was just, hey, like, you need to complete the gang. So this guy is, he's kind of neat. I like that he has that special hand for holding this hook. So like this hand was like specially designed for holding the hook. And then he's got like his bat. I would watch out for the knees on this one. I think his knees might be even thinner than Lotus's. So this is definitely one where you're just gonna get him posed, get him set up, and probably I'm gonna put him in the back because honestly, he just doesn't do a lot for me. I mean, he's fine, he's okay, but he's just not the most exciting. He's definitely, for me, the least exciting gang member. The little short guy, somewhat similar to the human Rocksteady figure, which we'll see in a second. Not a lot of dynamic posability with this one, just because he's so short. I just kind of have the chain hanging off of him that could fall off at any moment. I didn't put any of the alternate hands on. I just left the fist on because I just wanted one figure that just had the fist. So speaking of all these hands, let me show you all these alternate hands that we get. So here are the gripping hands for short gang member. So he has gripping hands to hold weapons. And then here are the gripping hands for tall. So the other gripping hand is on him, of course, holding his bat. And like I said, he has that special hand for holding the hook, which is pretty cool. And then here's his 2 fists, which I almost just dropped. So there's the 2 fists for tall gang member. And then here is the mutant arm and hand, because tall gang member becomes the Elephant Man, I guess, because here is his horribly disfigured, ugly, mutated face that he comes with. This is the stuff of nightmares. This is absolutely grotesque looking. How the children of the 80s were able to function as adults, I'll never know, because yikes. So I'm not putting that head on him because it looks horrible, and I just want to have a set of human gang members anyway. They do come with a mallet, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I don't want it as a weapon for the gang members. I mean, the same kind of way as with Grunt and Jersey Red coming with that sword. I gave the sword to Lotus because I figure, why do they need a ninja sword? I just don't need them to have a mallet either. I mean, this looks like a croquet mallet or something. I prefer the gang members to have like, gang membery type weapons, like the weapons that you would expect gang members to have. So speaking of the other gang members, let's bring them in here so that we can end this video with all of Bebop and Rocksteady's gang. So here is Grunt, which I think is a pretty neat looking figure. I mean, just the mohawk is cool and the sunglasses. And then of course, his buddy, his mohawk buddy is Bebop. So they definitely look like they'd be buddies because they both are sporting the sunglasses and the mohawks. So they look really, really cool next to each other. I really, really like that. And then we have lovely, lovely Jersey Red, who is very hard to get to stand up perfectly. And her vest has very, very sharp spikes, as we covered in the video previously. So she just looks like a hot mess. Here is human Rocksteady. So he's a little taller than the little Dumbo or Derpy or whatever his name is. But I really like the Rocksteady figure. And then, of course, we can't forget everybody's favorite loot crate disaster, as I almost knocked them all over. And like I said in my previous review, that's not the gun that he came with. I gave that gun to a different figure, so now he has, because really the gun he came with, I feel like it was like a very like old-timey kind of gun, and I think I gave it to like my Jonah Hex figure from DC. So I just gave him this random gun that I had in my in my box of weapons, because I just feel like he would have like just a regular like gun, So there is Scrag from Loot Crate. And now we have the complete Bebop and Rocksteady human gang, which is fantastic looking. I mean, look at these guys. Like, they just look incredible. And I just realized I forgot to share with you the other mutant pieces. So here's the sloth arm. Here's the other sloth arm. And here is the sloth head that looks like a bulldog. I think I may even called it a bulldog at some point or another, but it is indeed a sloth after I realized that these were sloth hands. They're definitely sloth hands and not dog hands. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with these pieces. I would love to find, a figure that I can kind of just plop these on and just have it be some random kind of mutant figure on a shelf somewhere, like I did with the Grunt piece. Because I really wanted the Grunt piece because that was, obviously like a lizard creature with a yellow mohawk. Like, how could you not want that on your shelf? Everybody loves a good lizard creature with a yellow mohawk. But the sloth thing is kind of cool too. But of course the Elephant Man one, that is just going to go in a box and never see the light of day ever again, because that one's terrifying. But yeah, I think that just this group looks amazing together. Very happy to have all of them. Again, even though, I think these two are kind of like boring, but you need the whole group. I mean, you need all of them, obviously. And they fill in that team, if that's what you want to call them. But yeah, let me know what you think of these Haulathon figures. I think all of us toy collectors are pretty overwhelmed by these releases from NECA, and we're all kind of wondering what the next week or two is going to bring with all this Haulathon stuff. Yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, and have a good one.